Welcome back to the Chuck Clark Coach Show here on the BCAHS Barrett Network. I'm your host, Gary Ownbey, coming to you live here from Studio H12. And we'd like to thank the students and Mr. Gwen Schroy to make all of our productions possible. Being joined now by Bradley Central Bear head coach Chuck Clark as we sort of wrap up the boys season, Coach. And I've been with you, working with you side by side for several weeks, I guess now. And you come in here, you're on the phone with a fellow coach. And as we've talked about many times, you get a lot of phone calls this time of year, and you make a lot of phone calls when you're involved because your fellow coaches, you know, they want to beat you when they play you, but hey, what do you know about this team we're going to play tonight? What do you know about that team? You ask them the same question. It's sort of a fraternity of head coachings, I guess, and you get along good with all those guys.
Well, I do, and that's why I like this crew, this region that we're in right now. Those guys will tell you whatever you need to know, and so I've been on the phone this morning since about 8:45 talking to coaches, wanting to know what if they'll send me different videos, different films, or pictures of the scorebook where they can go through and look, put names with numbers, and anything else that I want to add to it. And so yeah, it's a fun time of year if you're not in it, and it's even more fun that if you are, because then you're calling those guys. And I remember last year we were talking a little bit what we were talking there about Slatton, and you know, how I would call other coaches and find out, okay, how are we going to stop him? And it was, you know, switching defenses and making sure we had somebody that was his size. Comparable.
And even then, you can't stop him. You can slow him down somewhat. We give him up 27 points, I think, didn't that game you mentioned?
And we slowed him down enough to win.
Yeah.
And so that was part of the problem the other night when I was listening to you from Walker Valley, and you know they didn't have anybody to match up because he's 6'5", 6'6", and he's long too.
He can score.
And he has the mentality to score. And so that's one of the things that you talk to other coaches about. How can you do this? And what did you do? You know, I had people ask us what we did last year. And when I told them, I said, well, we had a 6'4" point guard that was on him a lot of the time. Then when we didn't, we had a 6'2" that would switch off on him. And then when he beat them off the dribble, then we had 6'6" guys that were picking him up. And they're going, okay, I don't have that. So that's why you won last year. Yes, okay. Yeah. I had the players to do it, and so, but you know, he'll be gone. He's going to Ole Miss, and he'll help Kermit, Coach Davis out over there. So it'll be interesting to watch him play.
Well, having watched him in person a few times now, and you've seen him on film a lot, I know he's an impressive kind of player, and wish him the best of luck. And of course, they're going to have to come down and tangle with Cleveland at Raider Arena tomorrow night in their semifinal game there, and the winner will move on. The loser will end the season there. But Coach, for you this year, it wasn't the best of the season, wasn't the worst of the season, but it is, as you sometimes say, it is what it is. And you had some high points, you had some low points. How would you recap your season from coach's point of view overall? You know.
The high point was when right there before Christmas we started playing little basketball, and then all of a sudden we get the phone call, and I mean, you know, 2 hours before we head over to Cleveland to play, and I mean our guys were really ready to play. I mean we had our best walkthrough of the year, and not that would have changed anything, but you know, it took the wind out of our sails.
You're talking about COVID, of course, the shutdown.
We had a shutdown because they ran into somebody who had COVID, and then we're off for 3 weeks because they shut us all down, and it took us a long time to regroup, and then we started playing a little bit better, and then you know we'd have something would come up, whether it be sickness, we got a slight ankle turn, or you know, it's just those little things that just keep you from hitting your stride. And you know, those guys, they tried real hard to fight through all of it. And you know what? It wasn't just me; it was all the other schools too. But it was a difficult year. And in some ways, Coach Campbell and I were talking. He said, as crazy as this year is, I want to keep playing, but doggone, it's been nuts. I mean, it wears on the coaches.
And the players, too.
And they got to wear on the players,
Yeah.
too. You know, because are we going to get shut down? Maybe not. Doesn't look like it. Well, we got to finish out the season, but with fans in the stands. You know, and for those guys, not having fans in there, I mean, that was difficult for them. But once you tip it up, then it's just basketball. So, you know, can't make excuses for any way, shape, or form. But it was different. And, you know, in some ways, you know, not wanting our season to end the way it did, you know, we went out and played exceptionally good basketball that last game, and we got beat. And so I just like I told guys, you can go out with your heads high. You know, you played hard.
Yeah.
Carter Howard had his best game of the year and got him on the all-district team because of it. So that's something that we can look out and build on for next year, and in some ways, thank God this season's over with.
Well, you know, the uncertainty of it's what killed everybody. You didn't know, literally. I mean, you may have a game scheduled tonight or tomorrow night. You may not know till this afternoon. Hey, we're actually going to go play, or you get that phone call, as you said, like against Cleveland High School. Hey, can't play, guys. You know, and so now when are we going to play? We end up playing them back-to-back games for the first time ever in the history of the programs, I think, there. But what do you do in the off season now that season's over with your returning guys and the freshmen moving up? What will you be doing? Are you allowed to do anything, or what can you do?
We've got a 3-week window where we can't do anything as far as basketball goes with the guys, and so I'm now a PE teacher, and so we have PE class, and the guys have a chance to enjoy instead of practice.
Yeah.
Go out there.
They can be a student.
Yeah, be a student. And so, and it's good for me to see them horsing around doing what all they're doing. And because, I mean, it was difficult this year.
Yeah, it really was.
And it's tough on them more so. You know, I will adjust. I have adjusted. And hopefully we're through with the adjusting.
Well, you've been throwing a lot of curveballs in life, unlike these young kids. They've not seen, you know, that curveball come to them yet.
No, they hadn't.
Looking at next year and our change to the district, we're going to bring in Howard High School out of Chattanooga and Ray County from across the river. We're going to lose East Hampton and Saudi Daisy. Because of the reclassification, we're going to 4 classification in basketball. We've only had 3. How does that? What do you think about that? I mean, ain't nothing you can do about it, but I'm just...
There's not a thing. I mean, the powers to be made that decision.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I like it yet. I know there's some schools that don't. And then there's some other schools that love, because the travel restrictions that they were on before, well, they're going to be... They bottled them up again, and where they're going to be around a 100-mile radius of playing basketball, which is always good, instead of like us when we might have to travel sometimes.
Yeah.
Back years ago up to Crossville, or even for region games, 2 hours to Cookville. So and it made it better, I think, overall for that. But it's different, and people sometimes don't like change. That's fine.
I figure it out as we go, I guess.
I guess we're going to have to. You know, it'll be interesting. I don't think we played Howard since Reggie White was playing football and basketball down there.
Back when Stevie Williams was our head coach,
Stevie was the head coach, and in fact, my brother was playing at that time. So it's been a long time since we played Howard. It'll be interesting to get that started back up again.
Ray County used to be a district opponent, and they sent him over to the Central Time Zone. But I'm sure they're glad to be back in the Eastern Time Zone playing teams over here.
I have no doubt that they are. They've been trying to get back over in our district a long time.
Yeah.
Just because, and I know that it was crazy for them having to change time zones.
Yeah.
It's bad enough when we have to do it for region games, but when we schedule those guys. But to do it game in, game out, and I don't know. It'd drive me crazy trying to keep up with that.
they were the only team in that district that was in the Eastern time zone.
Yeah.
And I think, if I remember correctly, we're the only region that has teams in different time zones, District 5, District 6.
We are.
Statewide, and that's crazy.
It is nuts.
Yeah,
but I mean, there's nothing you can do about it.
No.
So,
we've done this for years now. We're pretty much used to it.
Just
Don't like it, but, always. But if it comes our way, it's okay.
Yeah.
When we have to go the other way to travel, it's not fun.
Losing that hour, it's difficult on the road back.
Especially on school nights.
School nights is when it's difficult for us. And so, most of the coaches that I deal with when we go and schedule and play that hour difference, we move the game up and make it where we can get home at a halfway decent time. And because they understand it. And secondly, we've become pretty good friends over the years with most of these guys. And so everybody tries to work with everyone, and that's like I just got through sending stuff off to White County and Warren County, and I'll get another phone call from Coach Webb about Warren County, and I don't know if Coach Tucker will give me a call. He may or may not, but I'm sure that I'll get a phone call from those guys, and I have no doubt that Barry Workman will be giving me a shout, and Siegel will probably, because they look like they might be two of the teams that from that other region to be checking on, and so I stay busy at this time of year whether I'm coaching or what.
Season's not really over for you then.
No, it is fun.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the ways you build relationships with people, and I enjoy those gentlemen a lot.
Yeah, I think they returned the talks there too. Did you like the format this year where the higher seed team in the district tournament hosted their games, or would you prefer to go back to a central site like we've done forevermore when district tournament starts now? And do you think it will stay the way it is now, or will they revert back to the old way?
Depends on how much money the state made.
Yeah, good point there. Did you like it though as a coach?
No.
You didn't? You'd rather have a central site?
I like when everybody comes in and you can sit there and you can watch, and you can get it feels like a tournament.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And so, no, I mean, if they want to play the first round, I mean, we do that
in the region,
anyway, in the district too. We play the first round game at the higher seeded school.
Oh yeah.
But then, excuse me, afterwards, then it goes to that one site. And I mean, it's difficult when you host, but still, it's fun. Getting the gym prepared and all of that, and getting ready for a hospitality room, and where the coaches can get together and
swap lies.
Oh, it's fishtails. I mean, who caught the biggest fish? Well, I did, of course.
Yeah.
That one that got away broke my line and everything. And so coaches are fishermen. We're going to tell a lie. It's almost like you tell a lie, I tell a lie, and we compliment each other's lies. Mm-hmm. So, but it's a whole lot more.
Well, the thing that I miss about it as a fan is I could go watch, maybe on the radio with the Bradley game or Cleveland Walker Valley game, but then I could stay and watch the two other teams that I don't follow all the time. Or maybe the game before us is two teams I don't follow. So you get to see that, and you get to see sometimes players that you don't get to see a whole lot of, and maybe you get one impression player from one game that's played against us, but then you see him play a few times, and you go, hey, this kid's pretty good here, or this coach is pretty smart, You lose that,
Well, you see what the other teams do against other teams. Mm-hmm. You know what they did against you. Mm-hmm. But now you get to see a little bit different because you don't see it on video. You don't get it all on video, but you can adjust, by watching what they do against a different team. Mm-hmm. If you're getting ready to play that one particular team, especially.
Let's talk about your team coming back next year. You're going to lose 4 seniors: Cole Haney, Mason Rothwell, Tucker Green,
Isaac Smith.
And Isaac Smith. You're going to lose 4 good guys, good people too. But coming back next year, you've got up and coming freshman team that went unbeaten this year with Coach Dills. look really, really good. I've seen them play a lot. The future looks really bright for the Bear program.
We got to find somebody who's going to take on the leadership role. And, I mentioned Carter Howard earlier, but, we've got some juniors that are going to have to step up. Brandon Chambrera does a nice job with communication with some of the other players, and got to get Josh Wyckoff more involved in that and come out of his shell and start talking a little bit and understand that this is his last go around. And so, it's all about what kind of leadership you can have, can establish with these older guys, and then bringing the younger ones in. There could be some of these young guys that'll be sophomores next year that will be playing a lot of basketball. I can see that, and it doesn't matter freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. If you can play, you're going to play, and if you have the right attitude and effort, then that will determine a lot of playing time for these guys.
Well, like you say, it's not about what grade you're in. It's about you as a head coach. Who do I think can best help my team win this game? That's all it's about. It's not a democracy. You got to make that decision on your own.
Well, Mr. Mickey, our team chaplain, he brought it up the best way later in the year, and he started talking about attitude and effort, and that's one of those things that I started stressing late in the year, and we're going to continue with that. I may even put up something in the team room about attitude and effort, and that's to remind me that I got to have a good attitude.
Yeah.
And I found out that my attitude was not very good right there when we hit some of the bad points. And I found out part of the reason why my attitude wasn't that good, and it had nothing to do with the team or the players. It had to do with something about me personally at home.
Yeah.
And so in my relationship, not with my wife, and so I started correcting that.
Your attitude becomes team attitude.
It really does, and so that's where I had to turn around and get right, get going back in my right direction where I needed to be going to. And so I got that reestablished again, and my attitude changed, and my effort was always there. But if your attitude's wrong and your effort, they both have to work together hand in hand.
Yeah, it sure
so.
is. Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, which is crazy around here, seems like sometimes, and taking time to chat with us again on our show here. We wish you the best of luck down the road in the future. Looking forward to next year and see what the Bears can do for us.
Sitting back and looking and watching these other guys play, I miss that part of it.
Yeah,
and
I
so
bet you do.
My wife's glad that I've been home earlier. And my grandkids, I get to see them a little bit more. But without, the fire's still burning. And so as long as the fire's going, I'm going to keep coaching. And so that's one thing that Coach Smith taught me. And we still talk a lot. And part of that time when that fire was not burning well was part of my attitude. And so got that adjustment. And so everything, it looks good. I'm looking forward to who's coming back and getting these young guys ready to play some basketball.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you and how you represent our school and how your team represents our school. Always there doing the positive things. And I know you bleed black and gold like a lot of us, but thanks again for being here, and we will chat with you down the road here soon, I'm sure. And until next time, we'll just say God bless for now and go Bears.
Absolutely.